Hillary is making the exact same mistakes that she made in 2008. It is absolutely ridiculous, but the exact same ones. In 2008, her fundamental problem was that she ran out of money at a crucial juncture, right after Super Tuesday in early March, when they had all of the elections with California and New York and all the big states. Hillary spent a huge amount of money defeating Obama in those primaries. And then when they were over, she had no money left. Obama had money left because he had raised his money online. So although he'd spent all of his money, he could just click send and get a whole new batch of money in. Hillary, who'd raised her money from the Rolodex, the old-fashioned way of going through and finding all the people who she could hit up for money, all of whom had maxed out, couldn't do that. And as a result, it took her 2 to 3 weeks to reload her finances. And by then, Obama had piled up a lead in delegates that Hillary could never surmount. And that's precisely what's happening now. Hillary got off to a big start in fundraising over Bernie Sanders in the first real quarter that they were both running, the second quarter of this year. She raised $48 million and Sanders raised only $10. But then she proceeded to burn through over half of the $48 million and in spending, so that she had a much smaller amount left. Then in the next quarter, the third quarter, the one that's just ended, Sanders raised $26 million and Hillary raised $28 million. Hillary's fundraising dropped from 48 to 28, and Sanders rose from 10 to 26. And during this quarter, Hillary spent 89% of the total that she'd raised. So right now, Hillary and Sanders have about the same amount of money on hand. Hillary maybe a little more, with about $25 million for Sanders and probably a little more for Hillary. But Hillary's burn rate is ridiculous, whereas Sanders is very low. Sanders has raised his money the way Obama raised his, largely online. Sanders has 650,000 donors who've contributed over 1 million donations. That's accounted for most of the money that he's raised. He's only gone to 7 or 8 fundraisers. Hillary, by contrast, did it the same way she did it in 2008, plodding through 30 or 40 different events, going through each name in her Rolodex, hitting them up, and they max out. And once they've maxed out, they're no further use to you in the primary campaign. So she runs through the people who love her, and then the people who like her, and then the people who are afraid of her, and then the people who only dislike her a little. And it gets increasingly hard to come up with that amount of money. So when we actually get to the primary time, it is very likely that Sanders will have more money than Hillary will. And particularly if Biden comes into the race, and as he edges closer and closer, his shadow gets longer and longer, he will dry up a lot of her fundraising, particularly if his advent in the race is caused by a drop in Hillary's polling numbers that indicates a vulnerability. So, and Hillary continues to spend money hand over fist. She's as profligate with her own campaign money as she is with our money, and she's going to run out. Thanks for watching.